My foster parents taught me to fake illness for attention, so I faked it in front of the judge and watched them face 15 years. The Hendersons collected sick kids like trophies. They had the whole routine down. Take in foster children with chronic conditions, milk the sympathy, pocket the extra government benefits meant for our medical care. I was their star patient. Type 1 diabetes, severe asthma, anxiety disorder. Perfect for their sob story collection. Remember, sweetheart, Mrs. Henderson would whisper before every doctor visit. You're getting worse, not better. Mommy needs those disability checks. She taught me to hyperventilate on command, how to make my blood sugar readings look unstable, which symptoms got the most concerned looks from social workers. The training started when I was 8. She'd make me practice in front of the bathroom mirror for hours. Slower breathing, Emma. You need to look like you're dying, not just tired. If I couldn't produce the right wheeze, she'd make me run laps until my lungs actually burned. There, she'd say, as I gasped for real. Remember that feeling? She had a whole medical vocabulary she'd coached me on. Tell them the chest pain is sharp, not dull. Sharp gets you admitted faster. She knew which emergency rooms had the most sympathetic staff, which doctors asked the fewest questions. We'd sit in hospital waiting rooms while she performed for other parents. Poor Emma's been in and out of ICU 12 times this year. We're barely surviving financially. Strangers would slip her 20s. Churches would organize fundraisers. The medical bills were always paid by insurance, but she kept the donations. She had a whole rotation of stories. Sometimes I was an orphan whose parents died in a car crash. Sometimes I was abandoned by drug addicts. The details changed, but the tragedy was always fresh enough to make people reach for their wallets. The grocery store was her favorite hunting ground. She'd park me by the pharmacy, tell me to look pale and shaky. My daughter's diabetic, she'd tell concerned shoppers, and we can't afford her insulin this month. People would literally hand her cash on the spot. She made $300 once from a single Target run. The other kids caught on. Tommy had fake seizures. Sarah's cancer was just strategic makeup, but I was the crown jewel. Mrs. Henderson would brag to her sister on the phone about how much money my conditions brought in. Emma's worth more than the other 3 combined. That diabetes is like winning the lottery. She kept detailed records too. Which symptoms worked best in which neighborhoods? How much each emergency room visit netted in sympathy donations? She had a whole Excel spreadsheet tracking our performances. The medical appointments were the worst part. She'd coach me beforehand on exactly what to say, then sit in the room nodding sympathetically while I lied to doctors who genuinely wanted to help. The seizures are getting worse, I'd say, watching her smile behind the doctor's back. Sometimes I forget whole days. Dr. Martinez, my neurologist, would order expensive tests she knew I didn't need. The insurance covered everything, but she'd tell the billing department we were struggling financially. They'd waive our copays out of pity. She even coached me on how to cry. Not too much, Emma. You want to look brave, not dramatic. Brave gets you more money. Everything changed when I turned 14 and overheard her laughing on the phone. The doctors think Emma's dying, she cackled. This diabetes scam is paying for our vacation to Florida. I found her draft GoFundMe post the next day. Stage 4 diabetes complications. Emma needs experimental treatment we can't afford. There's no such thing as stage 4 diabetes. She was just making stuff up. When CPS finally investigated, I sat in family court and gave the performance of my lifetime, made myself hyperventilate until I collapsed right in front of the judge. As they handcuffed her, Mrs. Henderson screamed, "You ungrateful brat! I taught you how to get sympathy!" "Yeah," I gasped, "and you taught me exactly who deserved it. 20 years total. Best acting lesson I ever got."